simply by facing each and every question that was thrown at me. The atmosphere suddenly transformed into an awkward comedy show. Even though Jack tried his best to explain his simple life to these rich kids, his meager social media income was less than a housekeeper's tip, and Anna's mom's expression darkened. She publicly told Jack that once Annie finished this summer, she was off to New York to chase her Ivy League dreams, hinting that this romance was a doomed soap opera. That Dad wanted his daughter to cherish this love. It's everyone's best first love. That night, Jack took Annie to an old house and told her that one day he would buy it and turn it into a cozy cottage. "What do you desire?" "I want a white house with blue lights on it, and a room by the river where I can just wallow in my misery." "Wait, what's up with my wish list?" "Oh, and a big old house to drink tea in while soaking up the sunshine." They sketched their future pad, envisioning a blissful life, but friend rushed in, shattering their dream. Discovering that Annie hadn't come home by midnight, prompting her mom to go off like a firecracker. She totally knew Annie was with Jack, yet she unleashed the entire town's police force to find her. Annie knew it was all just overkill, meant to drive a wedge between her and Jack. Sure, he's a good guy, but he's kind of a weight to carry. "It's definitely not for you. But I love him." "You're 17. Do you even know what love is? You haven't even seen the way Dad looks at Noah." But alas, money and power are dangling in front of them, and at 17, they can't exactly choose their fate. Even if their love is embedded to the bone, they still have to bow down to fate. He feels guilty for being noble and hurt for feeling small. If this love carries too much helplessness, maybe it's better to just let it go and let time sort things out. To cut ties ASAP, the next day Mom ordered their bags to be packed at the crack of dawn. Desperate, Annie hurried to the site before departure, but her Jack was out on delivery, and friends advised her to stop. "There's no future for us anyway. You must tell him I love him. Can you make it happen for me?" With Mom nudging her along, Annie reluctantly sprinted toward the car. She had no idea if they'd ever meet again, and when Jack got the news, he dashed off searching for Annie. But when he got there, the place was already empty. Their summer romance reached a full stop. The day after Annie left, Jack wrote her a letter and continued to write one every single day, pouring his longing into those letters. Waiting for Anna's reply became Jack's lifeline, but this waiting turned into a whole year-long saga. She wrote 365 letters, yet Annie never replied, as her mom intercepted them all. Faced with radio silence from the love of his life, Jack decided to write one final love letter, signaling the end, and gave up to start anew. But alas, peaceful times are often interrupted by war. That year, the Little Devils invaded their hometown. To defend his country, he and his friend joined up and went to the front, but were ambushed. His friend died. Meanwhile, Annie signed up to be a nurse at the front line, hoping to see Jack again. But fate had its own plans. It always does. A severely wounded soldier named Ryan, despite his injuries, confessed his love to Annie on their first meeting. He vowed to marry her if he survived. Annie took it as a joke, but Ryan sought her after recovery. He sought her out, and right off the bat invited her on a date. Maybe this was Karma's way of playing matchmaker. Or maybe Ryan and Jack were just two peas in a pod. Quickly, Anna's heart was won over by Ryan. Ryan is handsome, gentle, a renowned officer, and as wealthy as Anna's family. To Anna's parents, he was the ultimate catch. So when Ryan pulled out a ring and proposed, Annie couldn't help but tear up. Only, all she could picture was Jack at that moment. Soon, their wedding day was fast approaching. They thought this fairy tale would end happily. But then, a real estate ad in the paper flipped everything upside down. Seeing Jack at the dream farmhouse, Annie nearly fainted in shock. It turned out Jack had returned home after his service, and his dad, knowing Jack dreamed of that farmhouse, secretly sold their old house. He gave Jack the check, telling him to finally fulfill his long-held dream. On his way to buy supplies for the house, Jack unexpectedly spotted a familiar figure. He completely disregarded the speeding bus, jumped out, and sprinted to find Annie. But the harsh reality dealt him a blow. There was Annie kissing another guy. Seeing Anna's blissful smile shattered Jack's heart, all hope and loyalty crumbled in an instant. Every day he worked in the house as if once he made it look like it did back then, Annie would magically appear. But time didn't heal, it just inflicted deeper wounds. His father's unexpected death plunged him into despair, and he grew a long beard, burying himself in work. Keeping busy was the only way to drown out the pain. He built the place just as he had always dreamed. White walls and blue shutters, but alas, everything had changed. Without the one he promised to share his life with, everything else felt utterly meaningless. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe.